Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
And we are looking at the results of Week 6 of the 2021 college football season.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to break this down. First of all, games sort of that finished as we expected them to. Then maybe a few surprising ones and the two upsets of the week.
Yeah.
So let's look at these. We're going to start with Maryland and Ohio State.
Yep, Maryland, Ohio State, 66-17. Ohio State's on a roll. They actually look like a top 10 team now.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season, I was making some comments towards them, and I do stand by the comments I had made with them losing to, I believe, was it Oregon that they lost to early on in the season, and a couple other just rough games. But now they're just rolling. Stroud looking great as quarterback. I mean, they're just looking like a dominant team.
Oh yeah, they've come a long way.
From
the first game.
So good for them.
Yeah. Then Penn State was at Iowa, and
we didn't put this in surprising because Iowa was supposed to win.
Yes,
but
but this was it was a close game.
It was 23-20. Both teams played the way we expected them to play.
Yeah.
Penn State had chances. Clifford went out in the first half with an injury.
Yeah.
And then the Iowa defense, even when he was in the game, they just looked good. I mean, that's just a solid defense, a great game by that team. So good win for Iowa.
Absolutely.
Number 3 in the country. That's crazy.
Number 3. That's huge. Then you have number 2 Georgia was at number 18 Auburn was at number 2 Georgia. And Georgia took care of business as we expected them to.
Yeah, 34-10. I think it was close.
I was wrong.
At the beginning of the first quarter when it was 0-0. I'm kidding.
I said that Auburn would not score a touchdown. So this is the second offensive touchdown scored against Georgia this season.
Impressive, Georgia.
It is pretty impressive.
They look good, man. I mean, they look so good. Yeah. It's scary.
Their defensive line could probably just win Heisman.
Probably.
Can you do that for a line?
Yeah, they deserve it, don't they?
Yeah,
they deserve it.
They really do. Yeah. They're doing really well. LSU played Kentucky, and man, Kentucky just, they shined. They did their job, 42-21. And really, LSU's points all came in the basically fourth quarter.
Yeah, so, Kentucky dominated the entire game, which honestly, Kentucky, man. Kentucky football, they're playing good. We'll see what happens next week, but they're playing good.
Yeah, next week's a different story, possibly. Then you had number 11, Michigan State, and they were playing Rutgers, and they pretty much dominated.
No struggle here, 31-13. Michigan State's looking like a good team as well.
They are. The other one, we said we're going to keep mentioning Cincinnati. Temple was at Cincinnati, and Cincinnati won 52-3.
Yeah, this is a good win for Cincinnati in my mind because, they just came off that really close game against Notre Dame. What do you do the week afterwards? You got beat up. It was a tough game, and they win 52-3.
And like you said, the Penn State Iowa game, there was going to be a loser, and that's going to launch. With a strong win, Cincinnati is going to be launched in the top 4, and they were. Yeah. So good job, Cincinnati. Yeah. Then Wyoming at Air Force coming in there. Air Force won this one.
Expected. Wyoming, I think, was up 14-0 and then lost 24-14.
Yes.
So tough loss.
Okay, surprising. Now, let's say why it's surprising. You had number 6 Oklahoma. They were playing at Texas, and man, this was a battle.
It was an incredible game.
Okay, first of all, shame on you, Texas, because you went up by so many points, and even at the half, Texas was up 38-20.
Yep.
And lost this thing 55-48.
First off, 55-48.
Oh,
that's over 100
Is that not feeling back in the old Big 12 days?
Yeah, honestly, this is the first time that I've seen in a while a game this high scoring. Besides the next one we're going to do. So 55-48. Here's the thing: Texas has never been ahead by 21 points and lost the game. In the history, I think they started playing football in like 1890 or really, really early on in the college football world. And there we go. Oklahoma comes back from a 21-point deficit, stuns Texas 55-48, and he's somehow still undefeated. They have to be the worst undefeated team in
it's crazy.
I just don't understand how Oklahoma keeps winning because I don't think they're that good.
Yeah.
Watch them win the playoffs. I don't know.
We'll see.
It's just whatever.
Yeah, whatever is right. Then you had number 13 Arkansas. They were at number 17 Ole Miss. Once again, a monstrous game. 52-51, Ole Miss winning this thing. And the thing about it is this. Remember, at the end of it, Arkansas had a chance, And, they got the touchdown. They're going to go for 2 with basically no time left.
Worst 2-point play call.
Oh, my goodness.
The offensive linemen didn't even try to block the defenders.
Yeah.
They only had like 2 options for wide receiver for the quarterback. Just a very poor play call. I don't think going for 2 was a mistake, but the play call was just awful.
Yeah.
That being said, that game was so fun. I mean, both teams in the fourth quarter just touchdown. It was insane.
It was back and forth. Now, horrible defense, but still, it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you had number 9 Michigan. They were at Nebraska, and in Michigan, once again, they took care of business. But the thing that's surprising about this, Nebraska kept this a close game.
They did, 32-29. This was actually one of my upset picks.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
It was.
It was one of my upset picks.
We weren't supposed to jump into that.
And I mean, I don't regret that, right?
Yeah.
I might as well go ahead and mention my next one. So this was my first upset pick. My next one was Notre Dame at Virginia Tech. Both by 3 points. Both games by 3 points. Both teams had the lead.
Virginia Tech had the lead.
Yeah.
Nebraska did.
And they just couldn't keep it. Both at the very end of the game lost it.
That's right.
It was heartbreaking. I mean, again, don't regret choosing the teams. It was so close. It was so fun to watch. That does put me on 5 and 7 for the season.
Yeah. Then another basically surprising one was Wake Forest was at Syracuse. Wake Forest should have won this one big. They had to go into overtime.
Yeah, they actually came back from behind to win this game.
They did.
40-37 in overtime. They scored a touchdown. Syracuse only scored a field goal. They didn't obviously have to go for the extra point because they went second.
Yeah.
Wake Forest, I believe, is still in the ACC though. So take that as you will. Weird season for the ACC.
Sure isn't Clemson.
Wake Forest is number 1.
Yeah. Okay. The upsets. There again, like we mentioned, only 2 real upsets of the week. I believe.
2 top 10 teams.
Yeah, that's right. So you had number 1 Alabama. They were at College Station, Texas A&M, and good grief. What I'll say about this game is it did reveal a ton of things that I was concerned about already with Alabama. Defensively, I was concerned about Alabama's coverage.
Secondary for sure, yeah.
Yeah, the secondary, it just concerns there. But maybe the surprising thing in this one for me was how the offensive line just we saw 4 sacks in the first half of the game.
4 sacks and just a lot of pressure.
Oh, a lot of pressure. Yes. And so Bryce Young, I mean, he was like a deer in the headlights. But he did somewhat recover in the second half and started putting some points on the board, getting things going.
This game is Alabama came back from behind. They were down a good bit. They started rolling back in. But they just a heartbreaker because they had the chance to win the game and ended up having to punt because they go 3 and out with like under 2 minutes left, I believe. Yeah, and just give Texas way too much time. And the thing
that I never really understood Robinson was running that ball unbelievably. He was gaining 6 yards a carry. Yeah, and we get down into the red zone.
Yeah, goal line. It was a
third and pass. Can't get it in. Interception as well. Why on earth were they not giving it to Robinson, who's getting 6 yards a carry?
Yeah, so there were some uncharacteristic turnovers. That pass being one of them, and then all in all, I think people were putting Alabama on the same pedestal as Georgia throughout most of the season. Yeah. You've said multiple times you've seen multiple flaws secondary wise, and then just some things offensive play calling wise that have been questionable as well throughout this season. So it does seem like Alabama finally just kind of got what was coming, right? They were holes, and people were just kind of ignoring them, being like, "Oh, you started number 1, you're playing like number 1." Yeah. So we'll see how they recover.
That is
next
true.
week.
No, it's a big deal. Boise State. Okay, let's end on a happy note. Yeah, absolutely. Boise State at BYU, and my goodness, Boise State brought it.
Oh, absolutely.
They played lights out.
So I mean, me and you watching this game, 10-0, right? BYU immediately starts off the game just blowing Boise out of the water. Yeah. I am so nervous. I'm like, this is it. We're about to just get destroyed. Previous season, BYU absolutely demolished Boise during the COVID year. But man, that defensively, they started getting turnovers. 3 fumbles, 1 interception, 0 turnovers offensively. Yeah. Very safe play calling offensively. It was raining, so Penn never threw
and ran the ball really well.
Ran very well,
which was surprising.
2 players with over 70 rushing yards. Hank making great throws, very smart, nothing risky. Khalil Shakir, highlight of a catch at the end of the game to pretty much seal the deal. But man, Boise came out, and like I said going into it, I said the thing that really was in Boise's favor is the fact that these teams have played like 12 years in a row. Both have ruined each other's seasons before. So they really don't like each other, right? In rivalry games, you just never know what's going to happen. Anytime 2 teams hate each other, you're going to see a fight. So even though Boise was down 2 secondary players, a center, a middle linebacker, they still came in and somehow won this 26-17, and it looked dominant throughout the entire time.
It did, without a doubt. Great win. All right, that was the Week 6 action. Join us when we talk about what's coming up with Week 7.